Hello FPL managers and welcome back for another video. My name's Jack and today we're talking about our Double Game Week 34 transfer plans as we look to bring in more players with Double Game Weeks for the rest of the season. If you guys are liking the FPL videos, as always, drop a like and subscribe. We are trying to hit 12,000 subscribers by the end of the season, so please help us reach that goal by subscribing. Of course, have those notification bells turned on so you don't miss any future FPL videos. We're going to be putting out lots more content in the build up to Double Game Week 34. Plus Double Game Week 36, then Double Game Week 37. There's plenty more to talk about in way of FPL, so stay posted. And with that being said, let's jump into the video. So first off, let's have a look how the team has got on so far in Game Week 33, the midweek game week, and sort of discuss a couple of players that I'm happy with, a couple of players that I'm not so happy with, and are looking to move out of the side. First off, we've only had 6 players play so far this week, so considering that we've only taken a slight red arrow, it's definitely not too bad. We've still got 5 players left on the last day of matches, and the average amount of players that people have had play so far this game week is around 9 across the whole of FPL. We've only had 7, including our extra captaincy, if you double the amount of times the captaincy plays, essentially. So we've had 7 compared to 9 from the rest of FPL. So with 2 players extra in hand, I'm hopeful that we can take a green arrow this week. De Gea, Botman and Trippier, Rashford, Kane, all still to play. Obviously, a lot of people haven't got in Rashford for Game Week 33 as well. A lot of them have got Rashford in for Double Game Week 34. So if Rashford could put up a big haul this week, that'd be good. Obviously, De Gea is a big differential. Botman's a big differential as well. A lot of people have looked to get rid of Harry Kane this week, so hopefully he can put some points up. And of course, Kieran Trippier, most people already have him, so he's not going to do too much for our rank. Looking at the players that have played though, not too much joy so far this game week. Really, apart from Trent Alexander-Arnold, he was the only player that we didn't have that produced solid FPL points. He got 5, whereas we had March, who was our differential with 5. Haaland, of course, is our captain, so very happy that we brought him in this week. 14 doubled up to 28. He had so many chances against Arsenal, could have easily had a hat-trick on another day if he was at his clinical best. Triple Brighton lads worked okay. Stupinian and Matoma did blank. March produced the 5 points in that game. Salah blanked, which was a bit unfortunate. Watkins also blanked as well. So apart from Haaland and March, no one else has returned for us so far this week. So I am hoping the rest of the players in the team can put up some good points. We've only scored 40 points so far this week, but once again, had 6 players play. So I'm really hopeful for those Man U, Tottenham and Newcastle assets to record FPL returns. But looking at the lads this week, the couple of players that I'm not happy with, Ramsdale, not too keen on him anymore, especially since we already have De Gea with a couple of double game weeks coming up. Ben White also, of course, in that Arsenal defence. The Arsenal defence hasn't kept too many clean sheets recently, and they have some trickier fixtures coming up and also don't have any doubles coming up. So Ben White, of course, another player that I'm looking to replace, as is Rico Henry as well. He's got a good fixture Double Game Week 34, but after that, he's also a player on the chopping block, as we do have a bit of money to upgrade those cheaper defenders in White and Henry. So let's have a look at who we're looking to replace and some potential options to move in them in for. So Ben White is the player that I'm most looking to move on. Of course, we do have Ramsdale as well in that Arsenal side that I want to get rid of, but I'm happy just playing De Gea in goals this week. I don't feel it's necessary to make a goalkeeper transfer, especially when I'm only going to be downgrading him to a cheaper goalkeeper option to be able to afford someone else. But considering that we can easily afford White up to either Shaw, White up to Luke Shaw right now, which is the main move I'm looking to make, I don't really want to see a downgrade made elsewhere, especially since we don't have a massive amount of free transfers available to use. After we did make 2 free transfers last game week, we've only got 1 free transfer available this week. So ideally, I don't want to take a -4 coming into Double Game Week 34. So right now, for me, my favourite replacement is probably White up to Luke Shaw. He's only a fraction more expensive at 5.1. Ben White's price has risen quite a bit recently, so I think Luke Shaw is going to be a really good replacement at a very similar price. We have 0.8 mil left in the bank right now, so we can afford Luke Shaw. Alexander-Arnold and Diaz are both slightly out of our budget range right now, but with that in mind, Rico Henry is a defender that I do want to upgrade to either Alexander-Arnold or potentially Diaz to get on a Man City defender, as they've been a bit unlucky with the amount of clean sheets they've recorded this season. They have been expected to get a lot more than they have. So I think Henry up to either Diaz or Alexander-Arnold is a move that I'm going to look to make in the future, potentially around game week 35, 36 if I want to get in Diaz, as that's when Man City do have their double game week, and Liverpool, despite having a good double this week, still have really good single game week fixtures from game week 35 onwards where I could benefit from having Trent in the team. So potentially by downgrading Ramsdale, I could upgrade Rico Henry in the future. But right now, this game, I want to go Ben White to Luke Shaw. Manchester United's defense has been really, really good, especially in recent weeks. Now, 3 clean sheets in their last 3. Obviously, haven't played as of the time of recording in Game Week 33, but I'm hopeful for a clean sheet for them. Then they have a double in Game Week 34. Aston Villa and Brighton, a pretty solid couple of fixtures from a defensive perspective. The other thing I will say with Manchester United is that their other double game week is also quite strong from a defensive standpoint. And they have really good single game week fixtures. Wolves at home, Fulham at home being 2 of those single game week fixtures that they have for the rest of the season, where I do fancy Man U for a clean sheet. So I think Luke Shaw slotting back into their defence. He's got himself 1 goal, 4 assists this season, a pretty decent attacking output, and is probably their most attacking defender from open play. So I really like Luke Shaw. I think he's going to be a really popular transfer in coming into double game week 34, and of course for the rest of the season, as Man U still have an extra double after this week. His underlying numbers have been pretty good. He has a slightly higher expected clean sheets figure than Alexander-Arnold at 8.64, despite being 2.4 more less. His expected assist stat, though, isn't quite as good with 2.57. Saying that, per 90, Luke Shaw's expected assist figure does rank 7th amongst defenders, and his overall expected assist stat does rank 9th amongst defenders this season. So definitely not the worst. I'm sure he can look to increase his goals and assist output for the remaining fixtures, as they are quite favourable for him. But of course, I think he's a really good option at just over 5 mil. Trent, of course, there being a lot more expensive, offers a lot more attacking potential. But I do fancy that Man U defence for more clean sheets for the rest of the year. So that is why I am leaning towards Luke Shaw. He's also a bit more of a differential option with an ownership of around 15% compared to Trent, which is sitting at around 25% at the minute. Luke Shaw does have the lowest predicted points out of these 3 players for double game week 34 with 6.6. Saying that, though, it is much of a muchness. An assist or goal can really change the amount of points a defender scores in a single game week, and 6.6 predicted points is still very, very high, especially amongst defenders. Looking at Alexander-Arnold, though, he's probably an option that I look to get in for Rico Henry in the future, as I would be keen to jump on Alexander-Arnold. Now, with 5 assists in his last 4 FPL game weeks, he's been really solid for Liverpool. His last 4 FPL matches, he's been really solid for Liverpool. 7 clean sheets, 9 assists on the year. An expected clean sheets figure that's just not too high considering his price, but he does have the highest expected assist stat amongst all defenders, even higher than Kieran Trippier so far this season in FPL. He has an excellent predicted points for game week 34, which we're probably not going to be able to capitalise on, but it's those single game week fixtures that could still be worthwhile targeting after double game week 34. And Ruben Dias as well, slightly more affordable than Alexander-Arnold. I think if I go Haaland, De Bruyne, and maybe a Man City defender, as I'm not too sure. I ran double game week 36. I want to go for a Man City triple up, but I'm not too sure whether I want to go triple Man City attack with most likely Grealish, De Bruyne, Haaland. I'll probably just look to go De Bruyne and Haaland as my 2 Man City attacking assets, and then have a defensive option there as well. And as you can see here, 7 clean sheets for Diaz with an expected clean sheet stat of 10.72. So they have been a bit unlucky not to have more clean sheets this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if Man City do really well from a defensive perspective for the rest of the season in terms of really increasing their clean sheet tally. 2 excellent fixtures this week, probably the best double game week out of these 3 players here, just based on defensive strength or the highest chance of clean sheet. Fulham and West Ham, 2 really good chances for a clean sheet for Manchester City, and Diaz has been the guy getting the most minutes in the Premier League in recent game weeks. You could go for Stones as well. He's come in, got himself a goal in his most recent match, but I just think Diaz is a lot more reliable in terms of his minutes. Yes, you have to pay a little bit more for him at 6 mil, which is not ideal, but I think he's just the most nailed on. He's playing 90 minutes most game weeks, especially in his last 7 to 8, compared to a couple of other Man City defenders that have been in and out of the team, whether that's Ake, Stones, Kanji. You can't quite rely on them to play every single week, whereas I think Diaz is pretty nailed for the rest of the season, so he could be a good Man City asset. And of course, by the time game week 35-36 comes around, we will have a little bit more information on Pep's starting or preferred starting centre-backs. Hopefully Diaz continues to get consistent minutes from now until then, but he is definitely a player that I look to get into the team around game week 36 to capitalise on those Man City double game weeks. He's just going to be there for the clean sheets. Obviously, not much attacking potential at XA of just 0.43 in the whole season. So clearly just there to pick up those clean sheet points and, of course, those occasional bonus points as well. I think he could be a really good Man City defender. The other thing I would say is I could go for Edison as well if I wanted to upgrade De Gea. Saying that, De Gea still has other doubles coming up outside of Game Week 34, as does Edison. So I think it's sort of a sideways move. Plus, Manchester United's defense has arguably been better than City's in recent game weeks. So Diaz could be the preferred option. Of course, for anyone else that doesn't have De Gea in goals, I think Edison could also be a really good pick for the rest of the year. Of course, he's going to play every game for Man City. We know that. So he's going to be a good option. So yeah, Diaz as well. A player that I look to get in, maybe 35, 36. Trent could also come in at around that time. I think I'm just going to have to make a decision at that point in the season whether I want to go Trent with just the single game week fixtures and hope that he picks up assists as well as the clean sheets, or rely on Diaz with those extra fixtures to pick up those clean sheets and hope that he does start in most matches. But for me, this week, coming into double game week 34, the move that I want to make is Ben White to Luke Shaw. Thanks for watching today's Double Game Week 34 transfer plans. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, drop a like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel, and we are trying to hit 12,000 subscribers by the end of the season, so please help us reach that goal. As always, have those notification bells turned on so you don't miss any future videos. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.